Hello friends, welcome back to another session on the OSI model. So in the last section, we have seen how the application layer functions. Now in this session, I'm going to give you complete clarity on how this layer interacts with the next layers. Important point that you understood in the earlier session was the ports which this layer uses to communicate with the next layer. So suppose you are accessing some website, it could be port 80, which is HTTP, or it could be HTTPS, which is port 443, or it could be any other application port that you are using. So here I'm going to use a network analyzer tool called Wireshark to understand how the data actually transferred from the application to the next layers. So for the demonstration purpose, I'm going to use a tool called Wireshark. So let me open that tool here. So before I show you the actual captures, you can go to wireshark.org. This is the URL from where you can download this particular tool. Once you are on the wireshark.org webpage, you can go to the download section. You just need to scroll a little and you can download the Wireshark installer based on the operating system that you are currently using. So I'm using Windows 11. So I have downloaded Windows x64 installer. So I have already downloaded this and installed the tool. So once you install Wireshark, this is how your screen is going to look like. So there are various network adapters that you can see on my computer. For more details, you can go to your run command and type ncpa.cpl. So this opens up the network connections wizard. This is the page on which you can see all the network adapters connected to your computer. So here these three adapters show a cross sign. It means they are not in use. I'm not using the Ethernet card or the LAN card or the wired LAN card on my computer. But being a laptop user, I have a Wi-Fi network adapter installed on my computer. So this is the one which is currently active. If I go back to the network adapter in the notification pane of my computer, if I disconnect, you will see that there is a cross sign visible here. Just notice the cross sign. I'll just disconnect. Now it is not connected. There is a cross sign, means this adapter is not active. Now I'll connect back to my home internet. Now I have connected. You can now see that Wi-Fi network adapter is active. Means whatever data I'm accessing, example the website, will be accessed using this Wi-Fi network adapter. So going back to Wireshark, here you can see that the traffic on the wireless network adapter is visible to this particular tool. So friends, Wireshark is a network traffic analyzer, or some people call it as a packet analyzer. So this tool is used by network professionals, system admins, used by security professionals, as well as the application developers. Reason, these packets give you complete insight on what is actually happening on the packet or the data being transferred between your computer application to a web server or a web application. So now I'll simply double click on the Wi-Fi adapter. This will immediately start the packet capture. As you can see, the first option is grayed out here, the Wireshark symbol. If you stop it, this is going to be active. So I'll stop this. Now you can see the blue Wireshark icon active. It means now the packet capture has been stopped. Now if you want to start it again, you'll now before you stop, there is some packet capture that has already happened, right? So if I restart the capture, it is asking me whether I want to save the previously captured data. So as I do not want this, I'll simply click continue without saving. So if I click that, this option is again going to be grayed out and the red icon will be active. It means your computer has started capturing the traffic or the packets which are moving to and fro from your wireless network adapter. So before I start the capture, let me show you a URL. So as you can see on my computer, let me open it. So there is a login page that I have opened just for the sake of demonstration. So on this login page, if you carefully see this particular area in the address bar, you see that your connection to this site is not secure. So it means there is no SSL certificate that has been implemented on this particular URL. Wherein if I go to my training website, you see that there is no insecure information visible here because this connection or this site is secure because I have configured SSL certificate on my website. So going back to the test URL, most of the time people fall prey to certain cyber attacks. Reason being they are not aware of the risk that exists while you access a website without SSL. It means whichever site you are accessing, make sure there is a lock symbol or there is no information like not secure visible in your address bar. I'm just trying to explain it in a layman term so that it becomes easier for you to understand. Wherein if you go to my website dhananjayN.com, there is no notification as such which you can see here. So this makes my website secure. So now going back to the page, I have now opened the URL. What I'll do is I simply copy this URL, go to incognito mode. So I'll first start the packet capture, continue without saving. So I'm starting a fresh packet capture. As I said, now this option has grayed out. Let's open the URL once again, and it shows up the login page. So here there is an option to enter ID and password. Consider I enter an ID as admin and password as admin123, and I'll click login. So the moment I click login, it has tried to authenticate me on this particular page, but as I have entered the dummy username and password, I could not authenticate. Now let us understand what has happened at this layer. So as we are going to understand the application layer, we want to understand what protocol was used to communicate with a remote web server. Now going back, I'll now stop the packet capture, and here I'll filter out TCP contains HTTP. So I have accessed the website using HTTP and not HTTPS. So I'm just trying to specifically filter out the traffic on HTTP, hit enter, and these are the packets which were captured. So when you access a website, you're just browsing it, you're just sending get commands, getting something, getting something, getting something. When you click some button, you are sending post commands, right? So if you look at the website, first I opened the URL, it showed me the login ID and password, then I entered the credentials and hit login. And if you now look at the same thing here in terms of the packets, you'll see that first the get request was sent, and then there was a HTTP 200 OK response that was received. Login page was loaded, and on the login page, I entered the credentials and hit login button. So this was actually the post action I did. Now, if you click this particular packet and now scroll or now look at the packet details, I'll go to the packet information. So here you can see IP version 4 was used, right? This is part of the network layer, but just to give you an idea, the source IP and the destination IP is visible here. If you check the IP address of my computer, ipconfig/all, you will see my IP address is 192.168.1.103, whereas the website that I visited was this one. If I check the IP address of the same NS lookup, DNS lookup and I paste the URL of that website without HTTP. The IP address is 162.182.194.25. If you go back here in the Wireshark tool, the same IP address is visible to you here. So this is part of the network layer. Now you can see that hypertext transfer protocol, that is HTTP, was used, and going to the HTML form that was loaded on this page, you can see that the text username admin was used and the text password admin123 was used. The username and password was visible within that packet because HTTP transfers data in a clear format. So that is the thing that I wanted you to understand. So application layer, you can use Mozilla Firefox, Google Chrome, Safari, it could be Microsoft Edge. So these are the applications and they leverage the functionality of application layers to send and receive data on the network. Example, connecting to a website on the internet. So with this friends, we understood how the data is transferred from my computer to internet. So one thing that we wanted to discuss was the protocol that was used, source IP address and destination IP address, your computer IP and the remote website's IP address. There is MAC address as well, source MAC address and the destination MAC address is also visible here. So if you cross verify the MAC address of your computer and the MAC address of your router, you will see the same MAC addresses being captured. So with this we come to the end, friends. So I hope you understood that these layers are now making sense to you in terms of practically understanding how the data transfer actually happens on the computer. Friends, OSI model, it looks very easy. It is in fact very easy, but you need to understand the complete flow, the purpose of the layer, what it does, and how the information flows through that layer to the next layers. So with this, see you in the next session and let's discuss about the presentation layer. Thank you.